Hey everybody, how's it going? Mike from the Focus Garage coming at you here with a pretty sunny drive, and I just wanted to bounce some thoughts around with everybody here on the Ford Maverick and things that Ford may be bringing to the Maverick name. Now, there's been some articles published from Motor One, Car and Driver, and a few other automotive websites talking about how Ford has actually mentioned expanding the brand within the Bronco, the Maverick, and a few other of their models. And people have been speculating, what that means. What type of trim levels or additional variations of these models are we going to see? And something that I've pretty much been hoping for since day one, since before I ever even bought my Maverick, is the possibility of some type of Ford Maverick RS, Maverick ST, or even if you want to call it like a GT of some sort, where they pretty much do like a street trim version of it, right? So kind of like a performance variant. And I'll get into what I hope that looks like in a minute, but what I really hope that doesn't mean is we see some ST line where all we get is a Ford Maverick that has, maybe a little bit lowered suspension, some different wheels and some bumpers, but no performance changes at all. What I would really like a Maverick ST or Maverick RS to be would be the 2.3 in this, because as you guys already know, the Maverick shares a chassis pretty much with the Ford Escape, which also shares a chassis with the Lincoln Corsair, which is available with a 2.3 EcoBoost. Now, from my Focus days, a lot of people also know that dimensionally, the 2.3 and the 2.0 are pretty much the same in shape. Now, there's a lot of different variations of the 2.3, but Ford Lincoln still uses that 2.3 in, transversely mounted applications today. So there really is no reason why Ford could not put a 2.3 in the front of a Maverick with the torque vectoring differential of a Focus RS with some drift mode or something like that, and have this really, really cool kind of street-focused trucklet, mini truck, like a performance mini truck, ready to go. I think that would be so neat to see, and I don't really see a reason why they couldn't make that happen. So give us like, a 350 horsepower 2.3 with a cool performance focused differential. I don't really know what they would do for a transmission. They'd probably have to stick with using the 8-speed that they've already got, the automatic, and maybe beef it up a little bit, because I don't really see them ever offering this with a manual. So the manual is probably out of the question, but a 2.3 with a cool differential, lowered, maybe a little bit of like a dual exhaust or something going on, I think that would be a hit, especially since they've already proven they can do the black appearance package, slap some black appearance lights on it and everything like that. I think it would be a real winner. I've joked with people that if Ford actually made something serious like that, that would be one of the only things that I would trade this Maverick in for. So I think that would be really, really cool to see. Also, we've got the 2.7 that they've used transversely in like the Fusion Sport and a couple of the Ford Lincoln SUVs. Now, I don't think that's as likely. I can't really see them putting a 2.7 liter twin turbo V6 in this, but it's possible, right? So like, again, then you run into what are these going to cost? What does that look like? Just saying, throwing it out there, it would be cool to see. Alternatively, on the other end of the spectrum, you could also possibly do a Maverick Raptor. Now, I know that Ford probably doesn't want to do that to the Raptor name, since, I'll even be the first to tell you the Maverick's not really a real truck because it's not yada, yada, yada. But also, you open the door for that, right? I mean, you've got this little trucklet. You've already brought the Tremor name to it. You could do a Raptor. I'm not really sure the limitations of just how capable something like this could actually be off-road if they made a true off-road focused variation of it. So that's why I would say that I probably would see that being as the lesser of the likely of, the variations of the Maverick. I don't know. I really don't know how much travel suspension you can get out of one of these, or the powertrain. I can't see you doing Baja stuff with a Maverick, but I could be wrong, right? I'm not an engineer. I don't work for Ford, so the jury's still out on that one if that's something that we'll see. But what I really am getting at with this is I just don't want to see some weak, watered down trim level that doesn't mean anything, and it's just ST line, and it's got some ST badges and no real performance or anything. Brands are pretty famous for doing that nowadays, and I hope Ford doesn't do us dirty like that with the Maverick. Something that's actually been spotted in testing, though, is a Lobo, L-O-B-O edition Maverick that people are speculating. And this has been something that's been done to the F-150 in Mexico before, and it's kind of like a luxury version, so it has nicer wheels, it's lowered a little bit. The one that's been spotted has some cameras, so like a side camera and things like that, maybe a little bit something funky with the exhaust going on there, so that could be something they bring moving forwards. I'm not really sure if that's something that'll make it to America or how they'll be doing that. But again, there's been many variations of Mavericks out there spotted in testing that are in camouflage. Some of them have had black wheels. Some of them have been spotted with different exhaust setups, different coolers in the front, like intercoolers, radiators, things like that. So there's something coming. I was really hoping that we were going to see it for the most recent release when they opened the order banks for the 2024s. That was not the case, which is fine. You know, if it's going to take another year, so be it, right? Now, I've had my Maverick for 11,000 miles now. It's been great for me so far. This has been probably one of my favorite daily drivers that I've ever owned. And I can definitely foresee myself keeping this for a very, very long time. And one of the only things I could see myself replacing this with is a more performance-oriented variant of a Maverick. So if you were to give something, you know, that's a little more fun to drive. Now, don't get me wrong, like, this isn't going to be a hoot to drive because it's a lifted escape, right? Like, I understand what the Maverick is and what the Maverick isn't, but I've been following these things and I see that these, you know, have some modification potential. People have been tuning these, they're running E30 mixes on them, and I mean, they're not slow. So like, if you were to make one out of the box that has 350 horsepower and then also has the potential to be modified on top of that, I don't know, it looks like a win for me. Now, I get that the pricing of something like that probably would not be cheap, but modern cars are not cheap. I mean, the average price of a brand new car is like $48,000, $49,000. So the fact that I was able to pay $32,000 for my pretty well-equipped Maverick XLT that I've got right now with the 2.0, I mean, hell, if they make it 38, 39, 40, something like that, like, you're going to get into similar pricing with what the Focus RS was, and it's totally understandable, right? So, like, I'm very, very interested to see if, you know, when springtime rolls around and Ford kind of starts doing their new model releases and telling what to watch for, if we get some actual exciting variants of the Maverick. Now, I've been joking around with some friends about this, how, like, you know, the shut up and take my money, you know, swipe, swipe, swipe meme, but that is totally true, right? Like, I bought this Maverick, the values of these things are holding very, very strong, and, you know, especially for YouTube, mark my words, if Ford comes out with a cool version of it, whether it be like an ST or an RS or a Raptor, I will be wanting to order one and be one of the first to get one. I will not be going through the same dealership that I went through to get this Maverick, because that was an absolute disaster, an absolute nightmare. But I definitely want to grab a cooler Maverick should one come out. So that's definitely something to watch for. I think around springtime, March, April is when they'll be announcing if they're actually going to be doing something like that. So I'll be on the lookout, and you know, obviously as I get more information, I'll let you guys know. I have a few connections in the industry, so I'll be kind of, you know, pestering people that I know that work for Ford to really see if, you know, they can confirm or deny if anything cool is coming down the Maverick line. But while I've got my Maverick in the meantime here, I do want to let you know that I did do the darn thing, and I went ahead and I upgraded the tires on this. Now, for all of you know, this one is a FX4 Maverick, so it comes you know, stock with the Pirelli Scorpion all-terrain tires, which are really not much of an all-terrain at all. You know, it's like a street tire. It's a little 225, 65, 17. Doesn't really look too beefy or anything like that. But, you know, it's a quiet tire. It's good MPG, but it's not really capable off-road. It's not really good in the wet or anything. It's just, you know, a good factory tire. I went ahead and I threw on some Falken Wild Peak AT3W tires in a 245 70 or 245 65 17, and holy cow, let me tell you, I love the way these things look. They have a beefy sidewall. They've raised the truck about a ½ an inch taller. And the coolest thing is, I was doing a lot of research to see kind of other people that are running tires in this size. They haven't really hit MPGs that much. I've lost maybe about a mile per gallon, maybe 1.5 miles per gallon. So nothing too bad at all. And the most shocking thing to me is that the road noise really isn't altered at all. I thought I was going to be getting horrible, you know, tire noise when going down the highway at higher speeds or anything like that. And there's really been not much of a difference at all from 60 to 80 miles an hour. The ride is super, super nice because now you've got this big cushy tire with a giant sidewall on it. And I'm super happy with it. I did it just in time for the winter and the snowy season here in Illinois, which is coming soon, obviously. So we'll see how these things fare once we get some snow on the ground. These are a 3-peak snow tire, and they do have like a 55,000 mile tread wear on them, so they should also last for a long time. I also swapped out the factory chrome lug nuts that are known to kind of swell and break for some black ones, just for the appearance aspect of it there. But yeah, they've been on for, I don't know, about a week or two now, and I'm very, very happy with them. I was able to sell the OEM tires to help pay for a good chunk of what these new tires cost. And yeah, if you're looking to make your Maverick a little bit more capable and you know, really, really add to the look of it, especially if you've got like an FX4 or a Tremor or something like that, I highly, highly recommend the Falcon AT3W, the Wild Peak. It's a good looking tire, and you know, the jury's still out for me on how it'll perform, but if you do any kind of research or you know, looking up YouTube video reviews of how those things perform, they are a very, very good tire. But yeah, that's going to close it out on this one. I just wanted to kind of bring some attention to the possibility of some more Maverick trims coming. And the funny thing about this is kind of like, you know, where does the line stop, right? Like, there are already, like, you know, 3 trim levels of the Maverick. You've got the FX4. You've also got the Tremor as a sub, you know, option package among the 3 trim levels. You've got your EcoBoost. You've got your hybrid. You've got your front wheel drives. You got your all-wheel drives. There's a lot of variations of this, right? And the more trims and option packages that you release, kind of the more confusing this gets for everybody, right? So I don't want to see them release 100 new levels and trims and variations of it, just because it gets confusing, right? Nobody needs that many options of the same vehicle. But we'll see what Ford releases, and as I find out more, I will let you guys know more information about it. This is Mike from the Focus Garage signing off, and I will catch you guys in the next video.